Chapter 8. I was never born, I will never die. Introduction. One of the most iconic and profound declarations of Nisargadatta Maharaj is, I was never born, and I will never die. This seemingly paradoxical phrase captures the essence of his teaching and the path to self-realization. For Nisargadatta, birth and death belong exclusively to the body and mind, while our true nature, the self, is eternal and unchanging. Understanding this truth is not an intellectual act, but a direct experience that dissolves all fear and attachment. Questions and answers from I am. That question, what do you mean when you say, I was never born and will never die? Nisargadatta, birth and death belong to the body, not to the self. You are not the body, you are the eternal self, observing the play of life and death without being involved. Your true nature has no beginning or end. It is like space, always there, unchanging, regardless of what happens within it. Question, how can I realize that I was never born and will never die? Nisargadatta, inquire into who you really are. When you identify with the body and mind, you feel trapped in time, in beginnings and endings. But when you discover that you are the self, you realize that time is an illusion and you are eternal. Do not try to understand with the mind. Dwell in the I am, and this truth will reveal itself. Question. Why do we perceive birth and death as real? Nisargadatta. Because you identify with the body. When you say I, you think of the body and the mind, but the real I is the witness of all this. It's like watching a movie. You get emotional about what happens on the screen, but you are not actually involved. Likewise, birth and death occur on the screen of awareness, but you are the self that observes, never touched by what appears. Question. What happens after the death of the body? Nisargadatta. Nothing happens to the self, because the self is neither born nor dies. The body appears and disappears in awareness, like a shadow that fades as the sun sets. You are not the body, you are the sun, eternal and unchanging. Further teachings and key insights. The declaration, I was never born and I will never die, reflects Nisargadatta Maharaj's radical and liberating vision. It is not poetic or philosophical. It is a description of the ultimate reality, accessible through direct experience. Nisargadatta taught that the personal self, the ego, is a temporary construction, arising from identification with the body and mind. This identification binds us to the cycle of time, making birth and death seem real. However, once we release this identification, we realize that what we truly are lies beyond time and space. Some of the most significant passages from I Am that clarify this point. You are not the body. The body is born and dies, but you are the eternal self who watches it. When you understand this truth, the fear of death disappears. Your true nature has never changed. You have always been the self, but you identified with what comes and goes. Free yourself from this identification, and you will realize you were never born and never died. Time is an illusion created by the mind. You are beyond time, beyond change. You are the eternal present, the stillness that watches movement. A passage from Maharaj's wisdom. In I Am That, Maharaj explains how the understanding of our true nature dissolves the fear of death. Question. Why are we afraid of death? Nisargadatta. The fear of death arises from ignorance. You identify with the body, and therefore fear its end. But death is only a change, like the transition from day to night. You are the light that illuminates both day and night, untouched by what happens. Realize this, and fear will vanish. Question. What does it mean to live without fear of death? Nisargadatta. It means living as the self, free from the burden of body and mind. When you realize that you were never born, you cannot die. Live lightly, like a wave in the ocean. knowing that you are the ocean itself, and the wave is just a temporary form. There is nothing to fear. Final reflections. The understanding that I was never born and I will never die lies at the very heart of Nisargadatta Maharaj's teaching. It is not a belief to adopt, but a reality to be lived. This truth radically transforms our perception of life and death, liberating us from fear and desire, and anchoring us in the eternal present as the Self. All quotations and dialogues in this chapter are taken from I Am That, a timeless work that continues to guide and inspire seekers of truth around the world. Thank you for being here and for listening. This concludes Chapter 8. I was never born, I will never die. Tat Tvamasi.